Hello everyone, welcome back. This will be rather special because you can see I have a special guest. This is no one else than Konstantinos Tagos from Greek band Herta and also Greek-Swedish band Nightrage. So, hello.
Hello, my friend.
How are you today?
I'm really good, man.
Okay, so today you'll be playing here in Garage Pub in Cracow, the third Herta concert here in Poland. You've been to Warsaw and Olsztyn. So, how have you been enjoying the tour so far?
It's really good. We traveled 3 days to come here to beautiful Poland. The first show in Warsaw in Voodoo Club was amazing. We had some people come also from Sweden to visit and see our music. We had, of course, you, that you also speak Greek, and this is amazing.
Hey.
And what's up, man? And today we are here in Cracow, in Garage Pub. Cracow is beautiful. Yesterday, Olsztyn, if I said correctly. And the show goes on. We have 3 more shows to go next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we are very excited, man.
Yeah, if you don't know, then Herta will also be playing on 15th of May in Torun, next day in Gdynia, and also in Wrocław on Sunday, 17th of May. So, what do you think of Polish audience? Because many metalheads consider Polish metal fans to be the best in the world, next to those from South America.
Of course.
Do you agree with that?
I agree 100%. Polish people are very welcoming. They love metal music, and I can see that because in every street I go, I see at least 1 or 2 people wearing, metal t-shirts and stuff. And this is very nice for me because I come from Greece, and metalheads are a minority, but we are growing. So yeah, Polish audience is really hardcore, really passionate about music. There are a lot of bands, and we must keep metal music alive in every country of the world, and Poland, I think, is one of the leading metal countries, at least in Europe.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think that Greece also has a very strong metal scene, or not as much as Poland?
Look, Poland has a wide metal scene. In Greece, I think that the metal scene is concentrated mostly in Athens. I think, okay, this is my opinion, mostly in Athens. There are some very, very loyal and hardcore fans, but in Poland it's everywhere.
Yeah, because we have seen in Mazofia, in Warmia, also in Silesia, because if you probably know other Polish bands, then in Lower Silesia, especially in Wrocław and other areas here, we have a very strong black metal scene.
Of course.
But in Greece, most of the Greek famous bands come from Athens, Nightfall, Rotting Christ, Septic Flesh, Barathron, and Necromantia.
Rotting Christ, of course.
Yeah, of course, Rotting Christ.
Behemoth on the back here. Okay, if you can see.
Behemoth. Yeah, Behemoth. Do you know other Polish bands? It's like the ones you've played with, and of course Behemoth. Maybe, I don't know, Veda you maybe know, or Decapitated.
Mgła.
Mgła. Or Michli in Greek.
Okay, Michli, yeah.
Yeah, we have a very, very big metal scene, especially in black metal. And one thing in my opinion, that connects Greek and Polish metal scene is the fact that we both lead an aspect of black metal, because I think that the biggest number of artists regarding metal from both countries are black metal.
Of course.
Like in yours, it's Rotting Christ, Barathron, Kavir, etc. And in ours, of course, Graveland, Behemoth, etc. Okay, so now, what country you've enjoyed the most, if you can tell us, on this tour?
On this tour. So actually, this is just a Polish tour that we're going now. 1.5 months ago, we've been to most countries in the Balkans. We went across Slovenia, Germany, Croatia, and some other countries. These last 2 tours with Herta, I think I enjoyed mostly Germany, Poland, Serbia, Bulgaria. Actually, every country has been amazing. To be honest, I cannot separate each country, because in each country there is something different. We experience new stuff all the time. We get to have good people that come to our shows, and we connect with them. So in terms of people, everybody is different. I can tell you in terms of food, where's the best food so far for me. And I think it's in Serbia, because they have really cheap food. You can eat a lot of food, man, and the meat is so good. It's so authentic.
I know that this is actually part of Balkans. Serbia and Montenegro have a lot of meat in their kitchen.
Exactly.
Yeah. And this is what I wanted to ask about the trip, how it was going. Were there any serious problems, maybe with food or something? And basically how long you've been traveling to come strictly to Poland. Like, was it 3 days?
3 days exactly. So actually, the whole band except of me and our sound engineer Bill, we went with airplane. So we just flew 2 hours. The rest of the guys, Arsenios, Vangelis, and John, they traveled 3 days to come here with our own van. So yes, but this is part of the process. You know, we enjoy the trip. We want to come here, so this is something we have to do. I wish we were living closer to Central and North Europe, where metal is more intense. But you know, our love for metal must do kilometers. You know.
For sure, because Europe is very, very big, and there's far away from Poland to Greece and vice versa. But that's a living,
Of course.
But how about the dishes? You've enjoyed the Polish kitchen, because I assume that you've eaten at least some Polish stuff. Do you enjoy that?
So in Poland, to be honest, yet I have not tasted the Polish cuisine, because I've eaten only pizza, spaghetti, and doner.
Yeah, and then all the Mediterranean stuff.
Exactly, but I have a friend, and her name is Alexandra. That I met her in Greece, and she is from Poland. And one of the reasons why we organized this tour is because she helped us find connections here. So she has cooked one day for me a Polish food. I don't remember the name. It's like with lettuce and meat inside, pork. Lettuce and pork inside. I don't remember the name, but it was super delicious. But now we have 4 days that we are going to go to Katowice, and we're gonna stay there. And we're gonna eat every Polish food left in every restaurant, because we are super fucking hungry.
Well, I assume that you're hungry because you
Yeah.
have to play a lot and travel. But okay, are you looking forward to visit other countries to play? Because I know that before Poland you've played in Czech Republic, and as you said, Germany, Croatia. How about visiting the north of Europe, Sweden, Norway, or the west, Spain, France, and other countries?
Exactly. That's we are planning to do that. You know, the distances are very long, and now the program for the next things that are coming for Herta is that we're going to compose and record the second album, and we are planning to find connections again in north part of Europe, like Sweden, Norway, Finland. These areas which are, because with Nightrage we've been to these places, and especially in Sweden. I really want to go there and play with Herta, because I believe that people will love this, and it's a proof in the show that you were also in Voodoo Club in Warsaw. We had like 5 people from Sweden that came from Stockholm just to see the band. And this is really surprising, and this is one reason that we want to go, for example, to Sweden and play.
Okay, we'll talk about Nightrage very soon, but let's start with Herta. First of all, the band name. From what I can tell, it comes from the name of the Germanic goddess of vengeance. Is it true?
Very well, man.
Yeah.
Well read.
I assume that maybe something from Greek, but no, it's actually Germanic. What were your main inspirations regarding Herta music?
Herta music. Okay, so the name, as you very correctly said, is from an ancient goddess, and it's not from Greece. It's somewhere from a German mythology, something weird anyway, from the North Europe. It also means the goddess of vengeance, but also the goddess of earth. That means that you come from earth. We are born from outside of earth. We grow from earth. And also Herta, it's a rhythm. Now the drummer knows better. I'm the singer. I don't know very well, but it's a weird rhythm that it's called Herta. So this is where we got inspired for the name, and later on we realized that Herta is also a goddess of earth, and other things like Herta of Berlin, which is a football team, an anime, a sausage company. This we found later on.
Yeah. It looks like the Herta name is very popular in every area.
And we will try to make it most popular in music, in metal music.
Yeah, but what bands are your main inspirations? What
The main
artists?
inspiration, obviously, when you listen to our music, the first impressions that you get that we are inspired are from Suga, Gojira. My vocals are inspired from Lamp of God. Now the vibe that we want to include in our music, with the atmospheres and the orchestras and the choirs and everything, it comes from also Lord of the Rings and great novels, and you know, for my lyrics, I use a lot of poetry and dark poetry and this type of elements, but mostly the musical influences come from Suga and Gojira.
Yeah, this is definitely what I saw, or actually what I felt definitely that you have a lot of Gojira vibes
True,
in your music.
true.
But how about poets? Do you take inspirations from some Greek poets like Nikos Kazantzakis or other guys?
To be honest, not. My main inspiration is a Spanish one, or Mexican, I don't remember his origin, Octavio Paz. I don't know if you know the name.
I can't tell if I can.
It's Octavio Paz, and this guy actually, what really I find really interesting about his poetry and his everything that he's writing, it's that he uses he creates images of nature with things that are completely surreal, but if you can think about them, you can actually imagine them. It's not something that it's completely irrelevant with reality. It's something that you can see it. You can create an existence, you know, with words, but it's
Yeah.
completely new. And this is what I like
Sure.
doing in our lyrics, you know.
Okay, so the main actually next thing I wanted to ask you is like when you started to be a metalhead, what age you started to listen to metal?
I started around 12 to 13 years old, and you know, I was back at school and I was listening to softer music like Guns N' Roses, like Him, like Bon Jovi. But you know, one day a friend of mine came and he put in my ears Lamb of God, and I heard Vigil, the song, for the first time, and I said, wow, what's this? So the next day I threw all the CDs and I started, you know, getting involved with metal music.
So it looks like you very quickly got into extreme metal because many people start with classics, Iron Maiden, Judas
True,
Priest,
true.
Saxon, Black Sabbath. So they get stuff on the Great Britain stuff, and then they go to extreme ones.
Yeah.
But,
I never went to the classics, to be honest. I don't know, because I'm 33 years old, and you know, when I was growing up, these things already pre-existed, or maybe I was more interested in the more modern sound back in 2010, let's say. But for me, also, to be honest, I don't listen to a lot of metal bands. Actually, I listen to a lot of metal bands, but I'm obsessed with like 4 of them that I listen them every day for the last 15 years. I always listen 1 or 2 albums per day of my favorite bands every day. So I have like 5 favorite bands.
most people do it like this because they have their own favorites. So next question I want to ask is, what was the first ever band, and when you started your career, was it just after you started listening to metal, or you had to wait for a while?
So I started listening, as I told you, around 12 years old, 13 years old. My first band was around when I was 15 years old, and I was singing back then by myself, and somebody introduced me to some metal guys in the new school I went, because they kicked me out from the previous school. So I meet some guys there that they were metalheads, and as I told you before, metal guys, metal people actually in Greece are very rare, you know. It's not so common for Greek people to be metalheads, you know. Like, we have a small percentage of metalheads. So I was very happy that I finally met some guys that they are actually listening to metal. So they got me into their band, and the band was called Blame Your God. So then we started at around 2007, 2008, something like this we started.
Yeah. But how about the relationships with other Greek metal bands? Because as we said, mainly in Athens there are metal bands. How about the relationships with other guys like Rotting Christ, Septic Flesh, Nightfall, Varatron?
My relationship with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hertas relationship. with these bands.
Okay, I understand. So yes, back in these days, of course, we were listening to these guys like crazy, especially Rotting Christ, you know, Septic Flesh. Later on, we figured out more in depth, you know, bands. But actually, 2 years ago, we were just fans. You know, we never met them and stuff. now because we try our best with Herta, we got the chance to meet Saki Stolis from Rot Christ, collaborated in one song in person. You know, he came, he sang to the song, he participated in the music video. Later on, he came to our release of the album on December that he played together with us on stage. We've met pretty much all the metal scene of Athens, like Nightfall, Necromantia. With the Magus, for example, we've met in an interview one day. Nightrage, I play with Nightrage. Fotis Bernardo, the ex-drummer of Septic Flesh, now he's also in Nightfall, Nightrage, 649, and many other bands. Suicidal Angels, you know, our drummer was their drum tech for like a couple of months. So, you know, Athens is really small. Okay, so we get to meet everybody very quick.
Is it really small? Actually, I've been to Athens, and it doesn't seem to be a very small city. But okay, my question was that in the band's lineup, Herta, of course, there are only 2 guitarists, vocalist, and the drummer. You don't have a bass player. And my question is, why have you decided to not play on bass?
We didn't decide that. This actually happens because we cannot find a bass player that will play at the level that we want to play, because we practice very, very hard, especially the guys. Okay, so we cannot find a bass player that can keep up with the intense practice that we do and intense money that we have to pay in order to buy all the stuff we need and do all the stuff we need. And also, you know, every day me and Arsenios, for example, we don't have regular jobs. We work for the band. The other 2 guys, they have regular jobs and also they work for the band. So, as you can understand, the devotion that you need to participate in the band, it's tremendous, it's huge. So, now that the band is 4 years old and we have released our first album 1 year, it's getting more difficult to find somebody to join the train now that runs so fast.
Yeah, especially because you have said that in Athens it's hard to find a musician to play such music. But as you said, you play rather complex music. You don't play a very, very simple stuff. So to find a technical bass player, it's actually rather tough quest. But as for Herta, of course, what are you aiming now for regarding music? Like, what are your aims for, sure say, the next album that will come out in a near time?
Yeah, so the short-term plans are to make this. We'll also make a nice live, version, some live songs and some interviews and some other stuff. We'll fix a documentary, let's say, for the Polish tour. Because yesterday we had some guy that took us video, so we create a live version of the Polish tour that we'll upload on YouTube. The next steps is that we have a couple of gigs in Athens, some festivals, and then we lock ourselves inside the studio. We create a new album with unique sound. I think it's gonna be self-produced with our sound engineer, because we want to create something really unique. And after this, we have some shows in 2027 in Greece that we have booked already. Plus, we aim to book in Central and North Europe. This is the short-term goals, like 1 year from now. The long-term goals is that we want Herta to be our profession, you know, our career. We want to be 100%, 100% to this. We don't want anything else. So this is the main goal, is to be 100% musicians touring the world and living out of music and creating music all the time.
And do you have already any new songs written for the next album?
Yes, we have some drafts. They are not complete yet, but there are some parts that they can be used in the next album for sure.
Okay, and are you planning to work again in the same studio as you did your first album, Crossing the Illusion, or a different studio you choose?
For this one, as I told you, we want to do it self-produced. We are very happy with the previous mix and master, of course. But for this one, because we want to do it our own way, now that we know some stuff, and we know ourselves better. With Fotis, really, he opened for us the path, because through Fotis we learned how to play better, how to love our instrument better. We get to know how the metal scene works. We get to know a lot of people that today are working with us, like the video producer that we have and some other people. So now that we took all this knowledge, I think it's the right moment for us, at least for this album, to try and see what we can do.
How about the lyrical concept? Will it be completely different from the first Herta album, or will it be more or less the same lyrical concept?
No idea, man. Really, I haven't written any lyric yet, but we've been through so many difficult phases with Herta the last 3 years. So demanding. We had so many new experiences, like for example being in Poland, doing an interview with you, that you know about our music, and this is our honor. We are honored when somebody comes and knows so many things about us in Poland, and we are from Greece. So all these experiences, plus some other personal things that we suffered. For example, I lost my dog that I loved. Like, he was 15 years old. I lost him like 1.5 weeks ago. The last 2 months were really difficult for me, and of course this, okay, for some people may hear it, say, okay, it's his dog, but for me it was very serious. And of course, I cried, I got sad, but I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke weed, I don't give a fuck. I stay strong, and I continue, and I will make my music. And because I have feelings, I don't want my feelings to destroy me. I will use these feelings to create the lyrics for the new album, or some songs.
Yeah, losing a very close person or someone who is actually very important to you is really hurts.
Really hurts.
Yeah, and actually it inspires a lot of people to write music. For instance, I know that My Dying Bride had a few albums that were inspired by death of someone from their other family. But now you've mentioned Nightrage. This is what I want to talk about. So how it all started with Nightrage? Because you've been to Nightrage for about 3 years, from what I can tell.
Yeah, exactly. So with Nightrage, everything started from Fotis, my good friend that also produced the album. So I was at his studio, Deva Sound Studio in Athens, Greece, and as I was singing, Marios, the guitar player of Nightrage, called Fotis, and because the previous lead singer had left the band and they had already planned a German tour, he was asking Fotis if he knew a singer that can join the tour, and I accidentally heard this conversation, and I said to Fotis, hey dude, I'll go. I said, are you sure? I'm sure. So I had to learn like 13 or 14 songs in like a couple of weeks. So I did. I was sleeping with my textbook with the lyrics. So yes, we went to Germany, and the guys told me, hey, why don't you stay in the band? I said, yeah, of course. And we completed an album together. We went to Korea and Japan with Nightrage, and in many other countries. I gained a lot of experience. I also love death metal, okay.
You think that this band is more Greek or Swedish? Because some people consider it to be half Greek, half Swedish, because there are also so many people from Sweden in that, or were, for instance, like Thomas Lindberg from At the Gates.
Of course. So I would say to you that it's mostly Greek, because the main songwriter all the time, and I think the only songwriter of the old stuff, coming from Greece. It's basically Marios, and some other ideas come from other musicians that they were in Greece. In the future of the band, also they had some Swedish involvement, the people that they were from Sweden, but mostly it is from Greece.
Yeah, because the band plays melodic death metal. As you know, melodic death metal comes from Gothenburg, Sweden.
Exactly.
Yeah, but since I've mentioned the Thomas Lindberg, the top of At the Gates and this is death, so how it hurted you? The information of death of Thomas Lindberg, the most iconic singer from the Gothenburg scene, one of the most iconic ones.
Look, before even Nightrage, I'm in love with their album, of course, Slaughter of the Soul. It's one of my top albums.
It's an absolutely amazing album, the best by At the Gates.
Exactly, and the previous one is also very good. But Thomas, sadly I never met him, but because I was singing his lyrics through Nightrage, of course I loved him before, but singing somebody's lyrics, it may or you don't care at all, and you just say, okay, I'll sing this song because I have to sing these songs, or you will love these songs. And because I always loved the way that Thomas composes his lyrics, I sometimes I feel that I'm part of this song. You know, I feel this song. So through Thomas's lyrics, I got a deeper connection with his music and his spirit and his vibes and everything. So I was very sad to hear. Actually, it was the second musician that dies that I cried. First, I cried for Alexi Laiho, Children of Bodom, because it's a huge inspiration for me. And second for Thomas, because you know, he was a big inspiration again for the lyrics that he writes and the pain he had inside his head, writing all these dark and poetic lyrics and philosophical stuff.
Yeah, there were a lot of emotions in the At the Gates lyrics. And
Yeah.
do you think they still will be playing, or they will just disband after the newest album they released in April this year?
At the Gates.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, they got a lot of attention because of the new album, which I heard some songs. They are really good. The title of the album, it's really chilling, man. The Phantom of a Future Dead.
The Ghost of a
the
Future
Ghost of a
Dead.
Future Dead.
Phantoms and
Yeah.
Ghosts are more or less
I
the
mean, you hear this and you imagine Lindbergh writing the music, and he knows that he's gonna die because he was diagnosed with cancer, and I assume, I'm not sure, but he was writing lyrics while he knew that he's gonna die.
Yeah, I'm sure he was actually really depressed by
So
the fact.
imagine this is real death metal, man. You know,
Yeah,
you
death,
know that
death
you're
metal,
gonna
the metal
die.
of death, right?
Exactly.
But the question is like, who would you actually replace him? Because I cannot really imagine. So I think there are only two options. They will disband or will be trying with someone else. But I don't know who else would replace Thomas because
I don't know.
no one is like him. But let's come back to Nightrage, proper Nightrage. What are the plans for the future of the band?
So now that we are composing a new album, the 11th studio album of Nightrage, the second that I'm gonna participate. We have some festivals that we're gonna do during summer and October, and pretty much that's it, man. You know, new album and some touring, some festivals.
And what you can say about basically about the future of metal in general? Because you're talking about the future of Herta, future of Nightrage. What do you think of the future of metal? Do you think that it's actually this genre of music has a degradation, or actually it rises up?
It rises up. I mean, it rises up. Now Metallica played in Athens. They had 90,000 people, and before them was Godzilla, who played in the Olympic Games of France. Only this means something, you know.
Yeah, but many people feel that metal is actually going down because more people get interested. It actually comes less natural. But do you really think that if something gets more popular, actually it just falls down?
No,
I don't think
I
so.
think that the metal spirit lives on. You know, the times are different, and every old metal guy will say to you that metal back in the days used to be different. Everything was different at the end.
Yes, imagine that once there was no internet.
Yeah,
So,
of course. But I believe that more albums are coming out. More musicians are playing better their instruments. Metal music sound and sound engineering and technologies are evolving. So I think huge shows are announced. I think that is growing. I mean, you can have ups and downs, you know. It's not like it was in the 90s, of course. But it's not like it was in 2015 when metal was dying. Now I think 10 years after 2015, it's much better, you know? Maybe in 10 years it could be better than the 90s. Who knows?
I think what makes people think so is that there are as many fresh albums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in 90s, the music was evolving, and there was every year there was a new album that was really unique on its own. For instance, let's take some Greek bands. You know, for instance, Nightfall. Their first 3 albums are absolutely amazing. They're just so Greek, you know, but they're different. For instance, from what Barathrum was making.
Yeah.
Necromantia. Heck, Necromantia, the band with 2 bass players. Actually, that was really unique. Do you know any other band with 2 bass players other than Necromantia?
No.
Me too.
True.
So maybe I think that people have problem because there are many revolutions right now in music as there were in the past. But
Exactly.
does it mean that the music is dying? I don't think so.
I don't think so too. And also, sorry to interrupt you, but when the big bands like Mesuga, Gojira, and let's say also Slayer, Megadeth, Metallica, all the Iron Maiden, all these bands, I mean, sadly in 10-15 years they will not play anymore, so somebody has to replace them. I think that in 10 years from now metal will increase in a next level, because there are two layers right now of big bands, like the top 4 bands, of metal, and after that there are like 20 bands. In 10 years, I think that only 5 bands from these 25-30 huge bands will be there.
Yeah, because musicians are getting old.
Exactly.
And let's remember that many musicians have already passed away, and there are bands that are all close to be disbanded. For instance, I don't know, many people suggest that Deep Purple or Uriah Heep will disband one day.
Yeah.
But let's hope for the best that metal still has its good years.
Exactly. It's our duty, man, yours and mine, to keep metal alive.
Yeah. So, what indeed you can say to Polish fans today?
I'll say that we love you, and Poland is an amazing place. I'm really happy that you have such a metal spirit, and I can't wait to complete the tour and come back again really soon with either Herta or Nightrage.
Are you hoping that Nightrage will come to Poland very soon?
Yeah, I hope every band can come to Poland, because this is the spirit of music. People have to play, and we also have to listen, because I'm also a fan. I'm not only a music. I'm not only in a band. I support all the bands in Greece. I mean, I go and I watch from the smallest to the biggest band, because I like music.
If you've forgotten, then Herta will be playing also 3 more tours in Poland on 15th of May in Torun, 16th May in Gdynia, and the 17th of May will be in Wrocław. So if you want to hear Herta's music, then go and see them live. So thanks a lot for this interview.
Man.
It was very nice of you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you a lot. So cheers, guys.
Cheers, thank you so much, man.